Hi, writers. So, yesterday was an exciting and special day in our classroom as we launched our Writers Workshop time. I noticed that many of you wanted to keep writing when writing time was over, and I felt that way too. So, today you'll have a chance to get back to the piece that you were writing yesterday or start a new piece of writing. Before I send you off to write, though, I want to talk to you about the kinds of writing that writers do. So throughout the school year, you'll have a chance to do all kinds of writing. You'll write to try and convince someone to see the way that you do. You'll use writing to teach someone what you've learned or what you've seen or what you've read. You'll also write about other things such as like fairy tales, right? So different types of writing require different things from the writer. And let me show you what I mean. So I brought in a few pieces of my own writing. If you look on the slide, I brought in a grocery list, I brought in my to-do list, and I also brought in a thank you card thanking someone that I wrote to someone that gave me a cute outfit and bib for my baby Perry. Okay? So right now I want you to pause and I want you to think for a moment. Why do you think I wrote those things? What was my purpose? And to whom was I writing? Why don't you put your heads together and share your thinking? I want to talk about why I wrote those things. I wrote the thank you note for my friend to thank her for giving me a gift, and I wrote the grocery list for myself so that I can remember to get what groceries I needed. And then I wrote the to-do list to help me remember what things I needed to accomplish this week. Okay? So now I want you to examine each piece of writing carefully. Did you notice the differences between the to-do list and the groceries? Did you notice any differences between the writing that I maybe did for myself and the writing in writing the to-do list and the groceries and the writing that I did for my friend who gave me a gift? What differences do you notice? Go ahead and share that with a partner. So many of you might have commented that the grocery list and the to-do list, they're written on different kinds of paper. And maybe some of you noticed that there was a difference in the neatness and in the different kinds of writing. So did you and your partner notice that maybe the to-do list and the grocery list are kind of messy, and the thank you card was written in fairly neat handwriting? I'm not sure if you've noticed though, but on the grocery list, maybe there were some words that I didn't know how to spell, or maybe I wrote out words that I knew what they meant, but someone else may not know what it meant. But in contrast, if I went back and looked at the thank you note, I don't see any words that are misspelled. So, for example, on the grocery list, I know what veggies mean, but someone else may not know what veggies mean. And then on the to-do list, I know what all of these mean, but if someone else were to look at my to-do list, they may not know what training means, right? So what training am I referring to? Okay. Alright, so today I want to teach you really that when writers write, they think about who the writing is for, and that helps them decide how much they should focus on things like spelling and handwriting. So in our class, we'll be doing a lot of writing and all kinds of writing, and not all of it will need to be picture perfect. And it all depends on where the writing is going and who will be reading it. So watch as I record the 3 types of writing that we'll be doing this year. So looking at my anchor chart, quality level 1, we'll call one kind of writing quality level 1. Quality level 1 means that you and only you need to be able to read it. As long as you can read it, it's fine, right? We'll do a lot of this kind of writing where we're reflecting on what we've learned, or if you are taking a few notes on something that you've read, and let me record that on this piece of paper. So, quality level 1. Another kind of writing we'll call is quality level 2. So quality level 2, this writing doesn't need to be perfect, but someone else does need to be able to read what you've written. And that someone else might be a partner, or it might be myself or your teacher. And I'll record the quality level 2 on our paper here. So someone else needs to be able to read what you've written. Okay, so take a moment to think about quality level 3. Quality level 3 is perfect published work. You'll do some of this kind of writing this year too, and I'll teach you many ways to create this kind of writing. And you'll get to publish them in books and possibly even display it in our classroom library, okay? Alright, so go ahead and take another look at the 3 types of writing that I brought in today. Talk with your partner at this time and see if you can decide what quality level each piece represents, and use our chart to help you. So think about the to-do list, think about the grocery list, and the thank you note that I wrote. Which quality level is it? And then share that with your teacher. So I've heard many of you maybe say that the 3 pieces of writing that I brought in represented 3 different quality levels. So quality level 1 may have been my to-do list because only I needed to read that, right? And then my grocery list might have been quality level 2 because it may just be myself reading it, or it might be given to someone else like my husband who needs to read it too. And then the quality level 3 piece would be the thank you note because I want it to be perfect and neat so that my friend can read it because I'm giving it to my friend. And so I'll add these samples of my writing to our chart as a way to help us remember these 3 quality levels, right? So throughout the school year, you'll hear me refer, and you'll hear your teacher refer to these quality levels often. And these levels will help us know how much emphasis to place on things like correct spelling and neatness, in your handwriting. So okay, so it's time for us to get busy writing. I want you to quickly grab your writer's notebook and then join me again. I'm going to pause so that you can grab your notebook out. Okay, so look back on your writing that you wrote yesterday. Are you feeling finished with this piece of writing? Are you ready to begin a new piece of writing? Or are you wanting to continue with the piece of writing that you began yesterday? I'll give you a couple minutes to think. And your teacher at this time can pause the video for you to think about the questions that I just asked. What is your plan for today's writing time? Go ahead and share that with someone next to you. So at this time, teachers pause the video for the students to reflect. So it sounds like many of you have made a plan and you are ready to go. I have just one more question, okay? Which quality level do you think represents the kind of writing that you're doing in your writing notebook? Go ahead and share that with a partner. Again, teachers, you may pause the video. So most of you do agree that the writing in your writer's notebook is either quality level 1 or 2, and I agree. You may have noticed that yesterday during your writing time, I also wrote in my writer's notebook, and your teacher wrote in her writer's notebook. However, today you'll find me circulating around the room and maybe admiring the work that you're doing. I might stop in and chat with a few of you too. Okay, so please find a comfortable place in your chair to write. And then, as always, this year, as I circulate around the room, make sure that we are both wearing our masks. So, writers, it was such a treat to just walk around and kind of admire all of the hard work that you were doing today. And will you take a moment to kind of share what you worked on during writing time today? Maybe feel free to read what you have so far or simply talk about what you were doing in your writing. At this time, your teacher will decide how you guys are going to do that. But before I go, remember that today we created a reminder chart of the quality levels of writing. And each and every day this year, you'll have a chance to use writing to teach, to respond, and maybe to even reflect and to learn. And sometimes the writing will need to be as close to perfect as we can make it. And sometimes the writing just needs to be readable. Okay, so it all depends on where the writing is going and who will be reading it. So take a moment to look at the quality levels again. So remember that quality level 1, you and only you need to be able to read it. And then quality level 2, someone else needs to be able to read what you've written. And then quality level 3 is that perfect published work that sometimes we'll get to create this year.